guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a pretty entertaining email that was sent from a subscriber. This one, my guy, sounds like he was in his late 40s or so at the time of the story, a lawyer and a lifelong bachelor. And he shares his story, how he was able to give a gal, a monkey branching type of gal, a dose of her own medicine when she tried to play a player. You see, this guy, like I said, he's a bachelor, obviously a player, dates and hooks up with different women, quite content to do so, and encounters her. I'm not going to say where he encounters her, but you'll see he does, and finds out real quick early on her true colors. She's a user of guys, keeps lots of guys in the friend zone, deliberately takes advantage of them, monkey branches, all that. And he decides, you know what? Since she's hot, and I'm used to this, I'm going to have my fun with her. And you're going to see exactly how he does, and drags her along, and she tries a lot of BS with him that would work with nice guys, normal guys. Doesn't work with him. And it's a pretty entertaining one to see how this whole thing plays out and the way it ends. And this story I'm covering here really is more for entertainment than any great lesson. But if there's any lesson this story is, people pretty much reveal their true colors early on. And when they do, guys, you then have the opportunity to decide whether you want to keep them in your life or not. For me personally, when someone shows me deceitful, ugly, not so pleasant behavior, they're gone. I don't care how hot she is. I don't need that crap in my life. But some guys, they just want to bang some hot chicks and have their fun with them and treat them like a piece of meat. Because let's be honest, these gals treat guys like a piece of meat. As well as the other lesson here, or just something to reinforce, in my opinion, never feel bad for them. Never feel bad for the gals that whine and complain there's no good men out, or no nice men out there. They complain about the jerks and the players and the bad boys that treat them badly, but these are the same types that have no problem using guys, friend zoning guys, keeping guys at their beck and call who they know really like them, but not going to give them the time of day, but be more than happy to have the guys listen to their stupid problems, take them out, buy them expensive dinners. You know what I'm talking about here. It's very important. And that's why you don't feel bad for them, because occasionally these guys treat them exactly how they treat other men. But anyhow, guys, stay tuned. This is a good one. So it starts off, he says here, hello, SSM. You can call me Tom. I watched your channel for a couple years, and I want to thank you for sharing these stories that present reality and teach important lessons for both wins and losses. I also want to thank you for reading a couple of my stories. Your smacks in the comments were pretty funny. I never thought it'd be fun to get roasted. Since I've learned so much from your channel, I would like to pay my tuition by sharing another story that I hope you and your audience finds educational. Well, it's definitely entertaining, man, and appreciate your support. Some background about myself. I was born in Brazil to a dark-skinned Brazilian mother and a white American father. We moved to the U.S. when I was 10 years old, so while Portuguese is my first language, I grew up in the American culture and speak fluent English, Portuguese, and Spanish. Dude, you might as well come to South Florida. You'll be in heaven. Pretty much everybody speaks down here Spanish, Portuguese, or English. And I gotta really fucking learn some Spanish. I've experienced enough wins and fails with women to write several volumes. I would like to share this story about an Eastern European yoga instructor that I was involved with several years ago. We will call her Ivana. Well, of course you'd call a character Ivana from Eastern Europe. What else are you going to call him? I live in a large metropolitan city, and several years ago I was invited to visit a salsa class by one of my lady friends. We will call her Kathy. Was Kathy really a lady? Kathy was a WHORE, okay, so she wasn't a lady, with only guy friends and wanted to try salsa, but did not want to go alone. So was she really your friend, or is she your friend with benefits? She invited me because the dance studio was downtown near my apartment, so I agreed. I enjoyed the class, which was 80% women, so I signed up to continue the classes. The women were either cute young gals who just moved to the city, or 30 through 50-old single leftover women who were still looking for excitement. And all the male dance instructors were trying to use the studio as their own personal harem. I took class twice a week, and after about 1 year, I wasn't the greatest dancer, but I was comfortable and had fun dancing, and my Brazilian background helped me pick up the moves a bit faster than others, and that is where I met Ivana. Well, dude, to each their own. To me, the only salsa I like is the one I put on my freaking chips. That's it. And with my white background, I can't dance to save my fucking life. Even the Irish in me couldn't do a goddamn jig if I wanted to. Ivana was 32 or 33 years old, but her face looked like it was aging faster than her body. She had brown hair, about shoulder length, and was an inch taller than me, with long toned legs and a nice round ass. She did not have large boobs and may have had a B cup, which appears smaller for her height. Overall, I would rate her a 6 in the face and a body of a 7 or 8 because I like leggy women. I saw pictures of her from her early 20s, and she was smoking hot. It seems like Eastern European girls are super hot when they're younger, but rapidly decline in looks faster than other women as they age into their 30s. Yeah, well, I've seen and known Eastern European women in their fucking 50s look goddamn hot. It just depends on how they take care of themselves. Although I found Ivana somewhat attractive, I did not make any passes at her because I was already sleeping with a different 41-year-old gal from the salsa class. Well, he didn't waste any time. But Ivana did make an effort to hang out with me and my small group of 4 dance students. The 5 of us hung out after classes on the weekends, and at least 3 times a month. This went on for several months, and at the time, I stopped seeing the 41-year-old as she left the salsa class altogether. She was crazy, and I can write a separate story about her. Well, please do, man. And by the way, I'm noticing a pattern here with these crazy type of gals you get involved with. At this point, I had zero plans to pursue Ivana, but in hindsight, I can see that she had ambitions to push me into her friend zone to be a backup man. Well, that's what a lot of them want to do, because that's just how they're wired. More guys to give them attention, more guys to buy them shit. She obviously misjudged you. I figured this out when Ivana invited our small group of salsa dancers to her birthday party. At the birthday party, Ivana had more guys than gals, and none of her girlfriends were very attractive. Ivana's best friend was grossly overweight and covered with tattoos. But this fat chick was nice, and she engaged everybody at the party, sat next to me, and explained who everybody was as we chatted. Okay, at least she was nice. Guys, I've known gals who deliberately hung out with women less attractive with them so that they could get all the attention from guys. I kid you not. And this right here tells me everything. Now listen to what we're about to get into here, where her true colors really come out. He says, Ivana had a boyfriend who she never mentioned to the salsa group at the party. Imagine that. She also invited one of her ex-boyfriends to the birthday party because he's such a good person and they're really good friends. Right there. Any gal that still has a boyfriend but still hangs out with her ex because they're really good friends, what does that tell you? And also, Ivana invited a guy named Matt who was clearly in the friend zone. Imagine the audacity of this woman. Ivana invited her ex-lover, her friend zone simp, and her current boyfriend, and me, her future lover, to the same party. Attention and validation. Right here, this shows who she is. Do you think she gives a shit about any of these guys, particularly her current boyfriend? No. This is why you don't feel bad for them. And this is why, in particular, gals like this, you treat them like they really are a piece of meat. Like nothing. If this was me, I wouldn't have involved myself at all with her after this birthday party, reading between the lines. I wouldn't have hung out with her. I wouldn't have even dated her, or you know what, which I know you're going to do, because that's just my own code. I don't have time for people like that. And quite frankly, I wouldn't want to put my dick in somebody like that, because I'd be too turned off by who they are. But that's just me. I've become quite disciplined in my old age, gentlemen. So, says here, she had no problem putting all 4 of us together in the same place to give her attention. I was respectful, but kept my distance from Ivana, and was the first person to leave the party. With no attractive girlfriends, I saw the birthday party as a huge waste of time. Well, it was a waste of time, but you got to see who she is, and she also got to see who you are. Notice he said here, guys, he kept his distance from her. So while all the other guys were probably fawning all over her and staring at her and trying to get their time with her, this guy was like, whatever. And he left. And I guarantee you she noticed that. And of course, when guys they have remote interest in don't pursue them, then all of a sudden, they got to pursue them because their egos are damaged that guy isn't chasing them. After this birthday night, Ivana became more available to hang out with me and my small group of dance friends. Oh, imagine that. Big surprise. I don't know why. Maybe there were things going south with her boyfriend, or maybe it was the result of the Next Man tryouts that Ivana hosted at her birthday party. I'm not sure, but I did notice that during dance classes and salsa events, Ivana would ask me for a ride, as I drove a black Mercedes at the time. I still did not make any moves on her. No sexual jokes, no paying attention for her, no paying anything for her, no compliments, and I did not invite her out alone, only to group events. This is probably driving her crazy because she's just a guy, just, all fighting for her. And you're just like, whatever. You're treating her like just any other chick. This is until my law firm was sponsoring a fundraiser and required several employees to attend a formal black tie gala. For those of you who have never been to one of these events, a fundraiser gala is like a prom for working professionals. In other words, a living hell. Usually a nonprofit group will set up a formal dinner event and sell tickets or complete tables to companies and professionals to raise money. A pair of tickets can cost anywhere between $100 to $300, and a full table with 8 to 10 seats can cost $10,000 to $50,000. What? I'm not getting this. He said a pair of tickets costs anywhere between $100 to $300, but then a table 8 to 10 people can cost $10,000 to $50,000. Either you mix something up or I'm not getting something here. I don't know. I know these things are expensive, but who the fuck goes there? Elon Musk to buy the $50,000 table? The event begins with an open bar cocktail hour as you arrive and a silent auction where you bid on different items like collectibles, jewelry, or vacation packages. Then dinner is served while the charity runs her program, speaking about the work they do, giving out awards, showing promotional videos, and asking for more donations. Again, my idea of a living hell. After dinner, the night ends with a DJ or a live band and on the dance floor. Sometimes famous pop entertainers perform at these events. For a single guy working at a decent company, these events are low-hanging fruit. The women you invite will usually be excited to dress up and attend a formal gala. It makes you and your job seem high profile, and you always have the work alibi as a reason to invite her out. Plausible deniability. Yeah, exactly. Not many women who are remotely attractive or comfortable with themselves will pass an opportunity to go to a gala like this, and they're going to think that, hey, he's somebody, or I can meet somebody while I'm there with this guy. When I asked Ivana to be my +1 for the gala, she accepted without hesitation. There's a fucking surprise. Yeah, because all along you're treating her just like any other chick. Is driving her nuts, obviously, because she likes you. She jumped at that opportunity and immediately became stressed about what to wear. I sent her a link to the charity's website where she could see photos from past events and get an idea how to dress. Ivana seemed too agreeable throughout the evening. I was bored and horny, so I decided to see what happens. Yeah, man, you're indifferent. But you're like, I want to bang this chick. Like I said, I wouldn't have gotten involved with her because that birthday party told me exactly who she is. But hey, you want to have fun with her, and I got no problem. If you are like this guy and don't care, and think, hey, I want to bang her, and you can put up with her and treat her like the way she treats guys, go for it. I'm not going to do it. The two of us ordered different entrees and desserts. I ordered the key lime pie, and she ordered the cheesecake. After Ivana ordered a different dessert, I said, I almost got that one. You will have to share that one with me. When the desserts came out, her cheesecake had an assortment of berries on it, and I love blueberries. So I asked Ivana, can you give me one of your blueberries? Ivana grabbed her spoon, scooped up the blueberry, and sent it on my plate. I picked it up with my hand and placed it back on the plate. Not like that, I said, feed it to me. She smirked and used her spoon to feed me the blueberry, and then held the spoon in my mouth. Not like that, I said. Ivana looked confused, but also amused. I don't know what you want, Tom, she said, and I said, like this. Now, he goes through this whole description of him seducing her and all this crap with the blueberries and flirting and all that. I'm not going to read that crap and just get to the point that they're flirting and obviously he's making his move. Anyhow, he says, that's a nice dessert, I said as we pulled away from one another. They were kissing. I played nonchalant and finished my dessert and tea without speaking or even turning towards her very much. So you're playing her hot and cold. You're doing exactly what a lot of women do to guys. When the band started playing, I leaned back in my seat, put my arm around the chair, and watched the dance floor for a few minutes. I said to her, I need to wake up early tomorrow. Let's get a couple dances in before we leave. She nodded, then held my hand and led me to the dance floor. When the next upbeat song started, we danced a few songs before I grabbed her hand and led Ivana off the dance floor and out of the venue. For the rest of the night, I was purposely not affectionate with her because I did not want to risk escalating things between us until the timing was more convenient for me. I was not desperate to sleep with Ivana because I was already seeing another, younger American woman on an infrequent and non-exclusive basis, and I was talking to a 30-something single woman from South America. See? He's banging two other chicks. He's in no rush. It's like, whatever. And again, by him not rushing things with her, it's probably driving her crazy. which of course makes her more attractive. This dude is indifferent the whole fucking... He obviously wants to nail her, and he's playing her hot and cold, as women play guys hot and cold, and he's indifferent. I told you I'm doing this one for entertainment purposes and to make a point here. I drove Ivana to her apartment and did not walk her to the door or anything like that. Most nice guys would. I stopped my car in front of her apartment, left it running, and turned toward her and said, "This was fun. You're a fun date." "I had a good time too," she replied. "I have to work a work meeting near your place on Tuesday. I'll see you if you're around when I finish." "Maybe," Ivana said. "Give me a call. Otherwise, I'll see you in salsa class." Maybe my ass. The second you call, she's going to be like, "Please come over." So when Tuesday arrived, I left my meeting and sent her a text. I said to her, "I just finished my meeting. Are you home?" Ivana responded, "I'm home. Stop by if you want to." Say what I tell you. I drove to her house, dressed for work, but without my jacket. When she answered the door, it was clear that Ivana prepared to make a good impression. You can always tell by how they dress and their level of makeup and all that, what they think of you. First, she was well groomed, but not wearing excessive makeup. She was well dressed, but tried to look casual and homey. Ivana was going for the look that said, "I'm good looking and well groomed, but down to earth at home." Yeah, at a home. Second, her home was neat, like too neat. I grabbed her hand and pulled her into me, and she accepted my kiss. Now he goes into the whole thing about him kissing her, seducing her, and all that. I'm going to skip that part. You get the point. He says, "The first sex between us was average." Man, if she heard you say that, she'd want to smack you. "It was pleasurable, but nothing to write home about. We finished after about 20 minutes, relaxed in her bed for about 10 minutes, then sat for tea for another 20 minutes. Ivana and I would continue seeing each other for the next 5 months. During these 5 months, I was never exclusive with her and slept with 2 other women. And I'm sure that made her fucking crazy. That's why she kept staying with you. But now, guys, you're about to see where the drama starts, where she tries to start drama with this guy. Because now that he's banging her, she wants to get something out of it. And it's only inevitable that these types of gals, who she showed her true colors are now really going to come out now that he's banging her. And watch how this guy handles her every fucking time. As a side note, he says, not every guy who pursues multiple women is indifferent towards them, or has malicious intentions to misuse or mistreat any of them. Research shows that about 7% or less of the population is estimated to have a trait or multiple traits from the dark triad that are dominant in their personality, such as narcissism, Machiavellianism, or psychopathy. I think a vast majority of guys simply pursue women due to sexual attraction, sleep with whoever they can get, and continue sleeping with her while he's getting to know her. He's happy to continue spending time with her and sleeping together so long she does not prove to be intolerable. This is how it was in my case. Yeah, prove to be intolerable. Well, many can very quickly prove to be quite fucking intolerable. And at that point, it's like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Ivana and I would continue sleeping together for the next 5 months, about 2 to 3 times each week. Usually once during the weekdays and once during the weekend. So meanwhile, you're seeing other chicks as well. I guess Ivana's your main hoe, huh? In your stable. She would usually sleep over at my place about twice each week. That's twice too much, in my opinion, for a gal that behaves like this. During the first, I enjoyed hanging out with Ivana. She always made herself available to get together and accompany me to different activities that I wanted to do. It was easygoing while we were together, and she made an effort to host me at her place or make plans for us to see one another, and always had sex when seeing one another. That's because she was super attracted to you, you were indifferent to her, and she actually had to work to get you. That's why she's treating you like that. But once, as you all are well aware, gentlemen, when a woman starts feeling too comfortable, that's usually when bullshit starts. Although we only lived about 7 miles away from each other, it felt like having a long-distance girlfriend who I enjoyed seeing but had a lot of space from. After the first month, I noticed that things began to change. Here we go. Everything's great in the beginning, but now in her mind is, all right, he's spending all this time with me, 2 to 3 times a week. We're not exclusive yet, but obviously he really likes me, so I'm going to start some bullshit. Anytime the two of us had a great time, especially at an event like attending a sports game, another work gala, or another fun night that required a little bit of planning and work, it seemed like as if Ivana would not let the night be fun. The two of us would go out, have a great time, and either toward the end of the night or during the drive home, she would confront me with some frustration or problem that she had. There you go. How many guys are watching this laughing right now? Like, yep, have a great time, and then the fucking drama starts. Bitching and complaining about this, bitching and complaining about that. Notice she wasn't like this in the beginning when she really liked you and had to work to get you, but now that she thinks she's got you, this shit starts. And this is always when you check them. I'll give you an example. Please do. One night we went to another formal gala. How many fucking galas do you go to, dude? She had a nice dress on that showed off her long legs. The food was good, music was great, and we ate, danced, and had a lot of fun. During the drive home, she grabbed my hand and placed it between her legs, wanting me to stimulate her with my fingers. One of those, huh? I decided to up the stakes and said, 10 to 12, I have a better idea. I unzipped my pants and placed her hand down there, implying that she can give me roadhead. She pulled away, once again grabbing my hand and tried to place it between her legs. You're doing this while you're driving down the fucking highway and probably have some alcohol in you. Are you fucking crazy? Come on, dude. But anyhow, I intercepted her gesture as competing against me and tried to dominate, control our interaction. So I pulled my hand away with a playful but exaggerated gesture and said, "You're no fun," in a lighthearted but teasing manner. Ivana did not take it this way. She began to accuse me of never taking care of her needs and only want to do things my way without considering her. You're treating her like a piece of meat the way she treats other guys like a piece of meat. And she wants you to cave and submit to her, and I guarantee if you did, the reason she's with you is you behave like a dominant alpha male. And who's indifferent, doesn't give a shit. But she's trying to dominate you, and not in a way that's fun. And I guarantee if you cave to her bitching and complaining demands, she would pull away and lose attraction for you. Because I guarantee that old boyfriend probably submitted to her. I explained it's not that serious, and that I can take better care of women if we reach her apartment and I'm not driving. But Ivana was serious and continued trying to pour her frustration out on me. It was really a downer at the end of an otherwise fun evening. After a few minutes, I saw that Ivana would not accept my playful teasing nor my reasoning to de-escalate the situation. She did not back down from her manufactured drama, so I grew impatient and cut her off. I said to her, "Whatever's bothering you is your stuff. I'm not talking about it, so keep it to yourself," I said. Good. There you go. Put her in her place, check her. And I like how you said manufactured drama. That's exactly what it fucking was. Because that's what they do. She started to respond, but I interrupted her, and I said, "This is bullshit." I said, "Whatever's bothering you has nothing to do with me, so I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to end the night like this, so I'm going to drop you off, go home, and we can get together again when you're more reasonable." Perfect. Exactly. Notice he wasn't calling her a fucking bitch or anything like that, because that would have completely defeated the purpose here. She would have focused on that part instead of you saying what you said. Good job. I had to tell her to stop talking a couple more times before we reached her home, where she exited my car, slammed my door, and then began to walk towards her apartment. I'd be like, "Bitch, that's my fucking Mercedes, and I worked hard to pay for that. Don't slam the fucking car door." I stayed in my car and watched her walk home until she turned around and began to call me, attempting to vent at me again. I quickly turned my car around and left her outside of her apartment. Awesome. What I always say, walk away, or in this case, drive away. I guarantee you most guys do not treat her that way because she's young, she's beautiful, well, mostly beautiful, has her way with guys. I guarantee none of them would do that, and that's why she keeps coming back for more. Hence, guys, why you don't feel bad for them when they bitch and complain about the guys that are mean to them like you supposedly were, or the bad boys or the players, because look what happens when you're nice to them. She would treat you, like those other guys. After this, I backed off her for 2 weeks and began hanging out with the other gal who I slept with during week number 2. Good. Hear that, guys? For you guys who are here to learn shit, after her little drama fest, he didn't reach out to her. He's like, no. She can reach out to me. I'm not chasing after her after that shit. And I guarantee you, she was just waiting around for him to reach out. And if he did, she would act even worse the next time. After another week of silence, 3 weeks total, Ivana called me. Predictable. She did not address anything that happened, but told me that she's teaching yoga near my place on Friday and asked if I wanted to meet for dinner after she finishes. I can't, I answered. I have plans with another friend. Ivana quickly said, if it's anybody I know from salsa, you can invite them too. She's not in our salsa class, I responded. We can get together another time. Ugh, that pissed her off. Ivana's tone softened and sounded bummed out as she acquiesced, and we ended the phone call. This was our routine for the next 3 to 4 months. Ivana and I would spend time together. When we had the most fun, she would find a reason to confront me about something, ruin the night, and then I would back off for 3 to 4 weeks until she found an excuse to re-engage me. I was not trying to manipulate or gaslight her, nor hurt her. My attitude was simple. I'll spend time with her and sleep with her as long as I enjoy it. When she becomes unpleasant, I'll back off and invest my time elsewhere. She knew I was seeing another woman, though I did not share any details with her. So you're handling it right for a guy who wants to be a player and have your fun with her. But this sounds like a whole lot of fucking time wasted on this asshole. Because you're getting laid elsewhere. Maybe you're just having fun. It was a game. Who knows? Some guys just do this because you like it. But personally, I never would have wasted any time with her, let alone after that whole drama fest in the car. The problem is that over time, Ivana became more unpleasant more often. So the balance shifted towards me spending much more time away from her. One of the last times I slept with her is noteworthy. Now listen to this. I was leaving work one evening when Ivana called me. She told me that she's having dinner with a friend at a restaurant in between my office and her apartment. She asked me if I wanted to join them for dinner. I declined, and Ivana then asked me if she could stay over at my place. I agreed because obviously it meant more sex. So I went to pick her up from the restaurant. When I arrived, she was finishing dinner with her friend, or more accurately, a guy who she had friend-zoned. I met this guy at the birthday party months ago, and it was very clear that he was in the friend zone. The restaurant was trendy and expensive, and I arrived just in time to see the guy pay the bill for their dinner and go home empty-handed. Ivana was bold, having dinner with this guy in the friend zone who probably thought he was on a date with her, letting him pay for her expensive dinner, and having me pick her up and take her home with me afterwards. Yeah, and you bang her in her apartment. Right there, guys. I hope you all were hearing this. Those of you who are sticking around for this story here. She had no problem taking out that guy, using him to pay for her dinner. Now, don't get me wrong. He's responsible for his own actions. He paid for her. He was a dumbass. Right? And then this guy shows up, picks her up, and he goes back and fucks her. And you know how bad that guy probably felt because he probably saw it happen? You think she cared about that guy's feelings? No. She knows that guy was into her. She had no problem having him spend his money on her. So this is why you don't feel bad for them. Because they'll use guys. This is why also, gentlemen, you dating and relationship types, no expensive dates like this until you're actually hooking up. Because so many gals will use guys right here. See, this is more of a learning story than I thought when I first started this video. This brazen usury of this guy sickened me, and although I still took her home that night, it was harder and harder to be attracted to her after that. Come on, dude, you had to know who she was from the get-go. From the first party you went to at the beginning of the story, when you saw her with her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, this dude, and you had to know that was her, but you want to bang her. Come on here. You enjoyed the game, the chase. We all know it. You can't fool us. Over the course of those 5 months, spending time together became increasingly unpleasant, to the point where sex was the only pleasant activity we did together. I'd be so turned off by her personality, I wouldn't be interested, man. So I broke things off with Ivana. Fortunately, she did not cause any drama within our salsa class or mutual friends. She just quietly faded away. Well, that's good. I eventually blocked and deleted her phone number and email address. After over a year of not talking to Ivana, she tried to get in touch with me through a mutual friend. They always come back. He told me that she got her realtor's license, wanted to ask me questions about title insurance, and possibly work together on transactions. Yeah, I'm sure that's really why she wants to get together with you. I laughed and told him, not a chance in hell. Thank God it only took you banging her about 100 times for you to get that. And we never spoke of her again. I have not run into her, but if I do, I'll be sure to provide an entertaining update. Thanks again for the work you do and all the hate you deal with to help us men tell our stories and learn from one another. Best of luck to you, SSM. Well, there you go. abrupt ending, but there you go. This guy, he played the player. He treated her like a piece of meat, and he treated her in a way the way she treats other guys. He was banging her, but that was it. You know, he enjoyed it. He had a good time with her, but she has no problem using guys, playing with their minds, all that. You heard that. And so, good for him for dissing out, you know, giving her what she deserves. Frankly, in my opinion, guys, don't waste your time with women like this, but there are some guys out there that know how to handle themselves, and they're getting something out of it, and there you go. So again, gentlemen, like I mentioned before, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that accepts the friend zone. You ask a girl out, you like her, you express interest, she turns you down, but I still want to be friends. Don't do it. Don't be that guy like this dumbass here that was being used. Don't, if you're dating, until you're hooking up, no expensive dates or meals. Otherwise, there are plenty of gals who are more than happy to use you for you to spend money on them and don't care. And of course, don't feel bad when they complain. There's no good men out there because the good guys get taken advantage of and jerked around, you know? And when they complain about the bad boys and players and their whining sounds like a Taylor Swift song or something, don't feel bad for them because, again, you know, look what they do. So anyhow, good story there. And yeah, I think it's quite funny how she got a dose of her own medicine. So good job. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you got a good story to share, send it my way. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Whether it's a question, scenario you got to ask, looking for some help on, that's fine. Or your own good story like this dude here, send it my way. And if it's good, I'll cover it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. Now, catch you next time.